Welcome to Star Power, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of 2017's most anticipated movies, if not the most anticipated movie. Okay, so there seems to be all this talk about Star Wars Episode 8's title lately, so I figured that I'd give my 2 cents on the topic. The title for Episode 7, The Force Awakens, was revealed on Thursday, November 6th, way back in 2014. That's more than a year before The Force Awakens came out. The highly anticipated Episode 8 is coming out on December 15th, 2017, so by that logic, a title should be revealed sometime this November. However, as cast and crew members have pointed out, Episode 8 will not be as secretive as The Force Awakens. I expect to see a title reveal sometime before. But until then, I and everyone else, minus Lucasfilm and Disney executives, have to wait in anticipation, so I thought the best thing to do in the meantime is to speculate. Thus, I present to you my list of potential Star Wars Episode 8 titles. These names are based on patterns from the previous movies. This doesn't mean that Episode 8 has to be titled based on these patterns, so calm down. First, let's get something cleared out. The second titles in the original and prequel series were respectively titled The Empire Strikes Back and Attack of the Clones. If the folks over at Lucasfilm are naming the movie based on past patterns, there has to be some type of combative word in there since Episode 5 and 2 have the words strikes and attack. Also, both titles have some group in there. Episode 5 has the Empire and Episode 2 has the Clones. The difference is that Empire is bad and Clones is good, at the time at least. Therefore, the group in the title for Episode 8 doesn't have to be good or bad. Moreover, both titles have 5 syllables: Attack of the Clones and The Empire Strikes Back. Let's take that into account as well. Lastly, both of the previous second installments in their respective series had 4 words. Therefore, this is if the pattern follows. I understand that the execs don't have to follow this. Therefore, Episode 8 should have 4 words. However, this is one rule I don't really care about since this rule can be broken as long as it has 5 syllables. Okay, here we go. So my first title is Star Wars Last of the Jedi. I know there's a children's book series with a similar name titled The Last of the Jedi, but Last of the Jedi would be a pretty awesome name in my opinion. The Last Jedi would be Luke Skywalker and Rey, and the two would have to work together to preserve the ways of the Jedi and balance the Force. I predict that Episode 8, regardless of the title, will spend a ton of time with Daisy Ridley's Rey and Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker, as Luke trains Rey to become a Jedi.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
The one thing with this title is that it doesn't have an aggressive word in there. However, Last of the Jedi would make a pretty awesome Episode 9 title. Okay, don't get too ahead of yourself there. But seriously though, Lucasfilm, give me a call. Next up is Star Wars The Raid of the Knights. It's 5 syllables, and Knights refers to the Knights of Ren. We know that Kylo Ren is a master of the Knights of Ren, as said by Supreme Leader Snoke in The Force Awakens. According to a recent rumor that's cropping up everywhere on the internet, the Knights of Ren with Kylo Ren will show up in Episode 8 to fight Luke and Rey. If this is true, The Raid of the Knights would be a fantastic title for Episode 8. The title has an aggressive noun, and I think that's just fine. Also, the second people see Raid, get ready to see the return of Tasu Leech and Razu Quinfee from the Kanji Club gang from The Force Awakens. Only problem with this one, though, is that this title has 5 words and not 4, but it sounds cool, so that's what matters. Next up, we have Star Wars The Order Returns. Now, personally, I don't like this title, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is the new title of the film. Star Wars movies are mostly titled to fit the movie in the most general way possible. For example, The Empire Strikes Back is about how the Empire strikes back after its loss of the Death Star. Attack of the Clones' biggest battle consisted of clones attacking things. Phantom Menace was about how a menace in a hologram, which makes the menace look like a phantom, is allowing the Sith to rise once again. A New Hope is literally about a new hope for the galaxy. Return of the Jedi is about how Luke finally becomes a full Jedi and restores balance to the Force. Revenge of the Sith is about Sith who finally have their revenge after years and years of planning. And finally, The Force Awakens was simply about how the Force has awakened after decades of it kind of slowing down into dormancy. In this film, the First Order will return to do something bad. However, this title doesn't have an aggressive word, so it doesn't really fit that criteria. This title also doesn't have 4 words, so it kind of fails there too. Lastly, we have Star Wars, The Jedi Fights Back. This is kind of like an anti-Episode 5. This is an interesting title because it fits all the criteria. It has 5 syllables, a comparative word group, 4 words. George Lucas tried to make the prequel trilogy mirror the original trilogy in some distorted way. I mean, say what you will about the prequels, but he did. The Force Awakens mirrored A New Hope, but it didn't copy off of it. The Jedi Fights Back is like the opposite of The Empire Strikes Back. The only thing wrong with this title is that Star Wars titles tend to alternate. Let's take a look. A New Hope was positive, Empire Strikes Back was negative, and Return of the Jedi was positive again. The Phantom Menace was negative, Attack of the Clones was positive, and Revenge of the Sith was negative. Since The Force Awakens was positive, it would seem that the Episode 8 title would have to be negative. However, The Jedi Fights Back isn't negative at all. This is all speculation, and none of it is actually true, so no harm gets done in trying to guess the title, right? Okay, those are my predictions of titles for Episode 8. If I think of any other titles, I'll just, make another video on that. So, who's excited for Episode 8? I mean, I know I am, but do you think that Episode 8's title could be any of the above? Also, do you think that Episode 8 will be better than The Force Awakens? Please feel free to let me know in the comments section. Thank you. Until next time, this is Star Power, signing off.